Hey, it's James here from Guitarist.com and welcome back to 30 Days of Guitar. Today is day 27. We are nearing the end of our journey, and I would like to visit a very important topic today that we can apply to pretty much everything that we learned. We already talked about it a little bit earlier on, and I've mentioned it throughout. We're going to be tapping our foot, and today's the day where I show you all the things that are going to really bring it all together. We've been dabbling in it, but today we're going to have some really concrete exercises for you. If you haven't done so already, please take a moment to like the video and subscribe to the channel. That way you can follow along. You can take these lessons again. You can, see all the new lessons that I'm going to be releasing all year, a couple lessons a week usually. And grab your copy of the free ebook, link in the corner. Anyways, tapping our foot, it kind of lines up with what our arm is doing when we're strumming. As our arm goes down, our foot goes down. And then as our arm comes up, our foot comes up. And you would be tapping your foot the entire time. Even if you're like singing or doing something else, piano players tap their foot. It's a great way to embody the rhythm, to physically feel it. And it helps keep the rhythm steady. I know personally when I'm trying to record like a guitar part without a click track, if I tap my foot, the tempo is going to stay the same so much more easily than, it's not going to be speeding up and slowing down, because that can happen when you're really getting into it. As far as what we're going to do today, I want to work it out with basically three different ways. First, we're going to go like this. So I'm muting the strings with my chord hand, and I'm just, playing down and up with my strumming hand, and I'm tapping my foot. And my foot lines up with the downstrokes. It comes back up with the upstrokes, but we just want to focus on those downstrokes and make sure that they're 100% lining up. And just doing that, just doing it at your own pace. Before we add any counting or any of that stuff, just down, up, tap, tap. And just getting the coordination. That's the most important part at this point. And once you feel okay doing that, maybe like this fast, we can add a little bit of counting. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm thinking about my foot. I'm counting how many taps my foot is doing. So my foot's going 1, 2, 3, 4. And I suppose the involuntary muscle memory thing that we have to overcome is getting this hand to keep doing this while we focus on our foot. That's what's going to help us cross that path into being able to mindlessly tap our foot so that it becomes an asset. Because I understand when I was getting started, especially, how it just seems like one more thing to do and it starts messing you up. You start tapping your foot and it screws up what you're doing on the guitar. We want it to be beneficial. We want it to be doing a job, to be keeping your tempo steady. And you don't want to be focusing on it. We want to be focusing on playing, singing, whatever else we're doing. So this is the first exercise for doing that. 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you're having trouble, you can count. You can break down the counting, going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And yet another way, if you're having trouble with that, is to say what your foot is doing. Down, up, down, up. Your foot and arm are doing the same thing, right? But focus on that foot. Visualize it going down, up, down, up. Once you get used to that, you can add the counting going 1 and 2 and so on. And then you can just count 1, 2, 3, 4. So we kind of have 3 levels there, saying down, up, saying what your foot is doing, then counting 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and finally just counting 1, 2, 3, 4, but still doing the same motions. And that is the ultimate calibration exercise for this. Tomorrow we're going to take a look at using a metronome. We're sort of wrapping things up and I'm showing you what kind of tools are going to lead to your success, right? And we can do that exercise again with the metronome, and that's the ultimate rhythm exercise. But for now, I want to move on and take a look at one of those patterns that we were playing earlier. The pattern is down, 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 up. So a down on 1, 2, and 3, and then a down up on 4. And as far as getting our foot tapping with this, the first 3 strokes are super easy, easier than what we just did. We just bring our foot down as we strum the strings. 1, 2, 3. We just do that 3 times, nice and steady. And then on beat 4, it's kind of like what we just did, going 4 and. So our foot goes down with the stroke, and our foot comes back up with the stroke. And I want you to go through the motions, going 1, 2, 3, 4, and tap, 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 tap. So I like to think of down up as a unit. That makes it a lot simpler, right? 3 downs and a down up as one thing. And then you just keep repeating that, going, getting the mechanics of it at your own pace. You can practice that later today. But for now, let's say the pattern. Let's say down, 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 up, down, 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 up, tap, 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 down, up, tap, 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 down, up. I'm thinking about my foot. Tap, tap, down, up, tap, 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 down, up. And if you want to take this to the next level, we can replace beat 2 with a small downstroke. It's the same motion, but instead of going through all the strings, we're just going through just a little bit, just a root strum. So down, root, down, down, up. And I notice when I show students this, they'll have a tendency to kind of skip that tap. They won't tap their foot on beat 2 because it's like a little downstroke. They're like, well, do I do a little foot thing? We still want to, keep that foot moving steadily. So maybe let's go back to just our foot and just think 1, 2, 3, 4, tap, 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 tap. And when we're ready, we can add those 3 strokes at the beginning. Down, root, down, tap, down, root, down, tap, down, root, down, tap. And when you're ready, you can add that down up at the end. Down, down, root, down, down, up, down, root, down, down, up. And don't worry if you're not 100% getting it. We're adding that dynamic, that aspect of dynamics, with the root strum. It kind of brings things down and there's a little lull in the pattern. And that's what's going to make your playing sound really alive. But, trying to get it in with your foot right now at this exact second might be a bit much. We have to go through everything that we've talked about in this lesson a few times. You got to practice it tonight and, for a bunch of practice sessions to really start seeing the benefits and the effects of it. Anyways, the last thing that I want to go through is taking the most common strumming pattern ever and then tapping our foot with that. And because of that whole syncopation thing, missing beat 3, this is both easier and more difficult. The first half of it is still pretty straightforward. We have a down on beat 1 and a down up on beat 2. So we tap our foot on the down and then we tap our foot on the down up. And let's just try that going down, down, up, tap, tap, down, down, up, tap, 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 tap. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you do that over and over again, tapping your foot during the 3, 4. That's very important. And then for the second half, normally we go miss, up, down, up. And we have to integrate our foot into that. And I think the best way to do it is to start at beat 1 and go tap, 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 up, down, up. And notice I didn't tap my foot on beat 4. I just want to tap my foot on the first 3 beats and get used to that first, because I think we can get that really tight. That's not too difficult. Tap, 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 up, down, up. And as I'm tapping, I'm moving my arm down. Tap, 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 up, down, up. It's like a dance. Tap, tap, up, down, up. And then all we have to do is add that final foot tap on beat 4. And I want to slow things way down and just go through the motions here. You can see how everything lines up here. We're going to go tap, 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 up, down, up. That last little bit I want you to just go through it literally as slow as you need to. It doesn't matter if you're in like stop motion, you know, tap, up, down, you know, like however you need to do this, right? Take the time to go through it. And then we can try the whole thing, just putting it all together. Once again, you do have to go through this entire lesson, those previous steps, the simpler strumming pattern and all that, before this even kind of starts to make sense, right? But I just want to show you the process for adding your foot tapping to the most common strumming pattern ever. Because once you can do that, you're free. You know, your foot will be totally just able to just pound out the beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. Down, down, up, up, down, up, down, down, up, up, down, up, down, down, up, up, down, up, down, down, up, up, down, up. And that's definitely enough for today. Rhythm is probably the most abstract thing on guitar. Like, you can see where to put your fingers, you can hear if the strings are buzzing, but rhythm is this really ethereal thing that is just there in the air, and it comes and goes. It has to do with time. Like, the notes only exist for that brief moment, and then, you know, when the song stops, where did they all go, right? It's not like a painting where you put the paint on the paper and it's just on there, right? So rhythm is definitely like a mysterious thing with guitar, and we do need to just expose ourselves to it and practice it, even if it's not 100% successful all the time. With that said, I have a ton of material. My beginner course is like 99% of it has to do with infusing you with rhythm, because I know that's what's going to make it sound like you're playing the song. That's what's going to make so you can like play with other people and join in, because you all have to play along to the same beat, right? Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy learning guitar with me. If you have any questions, let me know down below. Otherwise, tomorrow we're going to work on our metronome, so I'll see you then.